Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is October 5th, 2023, and we are getting into the volume 167 of me answering your immigration related questions. As always, before beginning this video, I'm going to mention, as I mentioned in every video on this channel, I am not an immigration attorney. This is not legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course the Department of State with their visa bulletin. So let's start with the comments for today. The first one is from Grebe Vlogger 3525. I can't see my comment. Sorry if you find my comments more than one. Grebe, I only see one comment from you so far, so not sure why you can't see your comments, but I do see your comments, so I'll respond to that later. Moving further to Beverly Taylor 7003. Thanks so much for your information. Really appreciate it as notary. You're very welcome, Beverly. I am glad this was helpful. Moving further to the next one from Casabella Column 3663. I cannot generate a PDF. Is there a button? I'm missing to download this recent I-94. Okay, so that was on the video I-94. So Casabella, if you're having problems with the CBP website, well, here's the thing. It's either the end user, which is you, or something is going on with the website, right? So I would recommend doing some technical troubleshooting, trying first of all to access the same website from your phone, for example, or from another computer, if possible, to see if that works. And of course, if it's the same across all of the other devices, then most likely it is something with the server, with the CBP website, and you'll just have to try it a different time and see if it works. And if not, of course, you will have to reach out to the CBP, which actually this video that you're commenting on is an older video. I do have an updated video for retrieving your I-94, and in that video I describe how to contact CBP just in case if you need to do that. So check it out. It is uploaded to this channel, and that might be helpful in case if it is, you know, not something that is with your device, but something with the CBP website. Okay, moving further to the next question from Habatala Ramadan 2635. Habatala, thank you so much for being publicly subscribed. Appreciate it. This is what this icon means. So Habatala says, hello, can I ask you something? My daughter will be 21 this month and wants to apply for me for a US citizenship because she was born there, but I'm afraid because I had broken the visa in 2001. Is this will lead to a paper rejection, so it is better not to apply. And also in the application she has to give an address and financial support for me in US, which we won't, I'm assuming, won't have because she is student and we both live outside US, but I do work in my country, or I can give them instead my bank account and any assets we owe here in country. Okay, great questions. Thank you very much for asking. So let me start with the first one with regarding your I guess you overstayed maybe in 2001 or whatever it is happened. I'm assuming it was a non-immigrant visa and you either overstayed or something along those lines. So most of the times, whenever it comes to situations that you really don't want to happen with non-immigrant visas, like for example overstaying, you definitely don't want that to happen. But if it does happen, most of the times you get a 10-year basically ban, they call it. Even though it can be waived and there is avenues to go around this and, you know, resolve the situation if you have, especially if you have good reason why this happened, if you have a good explanation. But regardless, in most situations it is 10 years, okay? So technically now you should be good because it's been like 22 years since that happened. Regardless, even if it is the case, still I would recommend being prepared just in case if you do decide to go ahead with this I-130 from your daughter. I would still recommend being really prepared for questions regarding, you know, why, what happened with the visa, why did you overstay, or whatever happened in 2001. I would still, you know, make sure that I have a good explanation to the questions regarding that. Now, I think the more important issue that we have is your daughter is young, she's a student, you know, she doesn't have a permanent place, And whenever it comes to being a petitioner in family reunification cases, you do have to demonstrate yourself as capable sponsor as well. If you cannot, then you would have to find a joint sponsor. So this is what I think you need to consider and discuss with your daughter, is if it will be possible to find someone who will be willing to be a joint sponsor on the case. Because unfortunately, and I know it's honestly, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's smart that you cannot yourself be a sponsor of being a beneficiary sponsor, especially in cases like yours where you're a parent and you have a young child. So you're a parent, you are established, you have your own income, you can demonstrate your own income. Why can't you be your own sponsor, basically, right? It would make sense, but unfortunately you cannot do that. It is the petitioner that has to be a sponsor, and if what the petitioner, with the income that the petitioner has, if it's not enough, which sounds like in your daughter's situation, because she's a student, that's how it's going to be. She would have to find someone who will be willing to become a joint sponsor on the application. So that's really number one thing that you should consider. And if you are able to find someone, if you do, whether it's a relative or a friend, really anybody can be a joint sponsor on petition. There is really no requirement for being a relationship or something along those lines. Anybody can be a sponsor, joint sponsor on the petition. So I would discuss this with your daughter, and if it is an option, I would recommend starting the I-130 petition as soon as possible, because really you will still be, even though you will be in immediate relative category, you will still be waiting for some time, because you're waiting for the I-130 to be approved, then you're waiting for the NVC, then you're waiting for the medical examination, then the interview. So there's a lot of steps involved, and you really don't need to worry about the financials up until the case gets to the NVC. So even if your daughter starts the I-130 petition right now, by the time it gets to the NVC, you will have all this time while the I-130 is pending with USCIS. You will have all this time to figure out the joint sponsor situation. Okay, so let me post the response here, and we're gonna move on to the next question. Comment from Tara ZKW Dispatching. Hey sir, you have answered my query in the last video. I highly appreciate that. I have watched your video on CSPA age law, so my case is F4 category, all chargeability area, documentarily qualified along with my parent. My current age is 22 years and 11 months. Okay, I have checked my pending time for I-130 petition approval is 2 years and 7 months. And I subtracted my current age from the delay time, and in the NVC my age is 20 years and 4 months. Here my question is, as we all know that NVC is taking a year or longer to schedule an interview appointment, and I'm going to overage in next 7 months. You have to file the expedited request as soon as possible. So what do you think, embassy will give me a visa or not, although I'm documentarily qualified since September 2023? Or also NVC will give me some kind of leverage if I'm few months older from 21 years of age, or should I request NVC to expedite? Yes. So the last one, NVC, they will not give you any kind of leverage. It's really sad and it is unfair, but that's how they are. You're a month over your age, that's it. They put you, well, in your situation, because you are in F4 under your parents. So it will be a whole brand new process basically for your parents petitioning. And you will be in F2B because, well, your parents will get their permanent residence, and then they will have to file a separate family reunification case for you. We're not even going to look into that, because it's a whole different. We don't want that. We definitely don't want that. So yes, absolutely, Tara. Right now for you, you definitely need to submit an expedited request to the NVC. I do have on this channel how to expedite NVC case. It's very simple. It's just an email that you're sending. So I would send it today, tomorrow, as soon as possible. In the email, really all you need to put is your identifying information, explaining who you are, providing the case number, making sure that whoever reads the email, they can find your case quickly. And then doing the same math that you just did in the comment, explaining the same math so that they know exactly that you do 100% qualify under the CSPA, which I'm sure they know, but you're leading into saying that, I have only 7 months left. I need to go through the interview in the next 7 months. Otherwise, I will age out. My parents been waiting. This is F4 we are talking about. So your parents been waiting already for like 16, 17 years probably for your, for you guys to get where you are. And now you can't risk, aging out, because it would be completely unfair. So just be professional in the email, but yes, you do need to do that as soon as possible. You meet all of the requirements for your case to be expedited, and aging out is one of the official reasons that is listed on all of the reasons that are considered for the expedited requests when they review them. So yes, absolutely, I'm pretty sure it's going to be approved. They are pretty quick in responding to those emails. Usually it's like within a week they respond to them. So go ahead and do that, and please, if you can, come back to this channel, and I personally will be definitely interested to hear what they respond and whether they approve it or not, which I'm 99% positive that they should approve it, because like I said, you meet all of the requirements and you have a very, very important reason for them to approve that expedited request. So if you could come back to this channel, and I'm sure a lot of people will be interested to hear the update on your case, that would be really great. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. From Sang1539, Sang, thank you so much for being publicly subscribed. So Sang says you're a walking angel. No, I'm not. Trust me, you save me money I don't have. I have a specific question: how to contact you directly. Okay, Sang. So unfortunately, I don't do anything with immigration outside of this channel. That's why this channel is called Free Immigration Help, because it's free immigration help. If I offered services from this channel, answering questions, saying, hey, if you want to learn more, contact me, and this is going to cost you that much, it wouldn't be free immigration help. Okay, and I don't want to do that. First of all, I cannot do that because, well, you do need to, if you're providing a legal advice, then you need to be an attorney or an immigration practitioner, which I am not. And I don't want to be, because that would restrict a lot of things that I can and cannot say. I don't want to be restricted. So in order to be unrestricted by any of that, the advice is free. Okay, so with that being said, if you have whatever kind of questions you have, just post them just like that in the comment. Obviously, the personal details, keep them, don't share them in a comment, because it's open to the public. But just give me some basic details of your case, what's going on, and I'll try to help you as much as I can. So let me post the response here, and we're gonna move on to the next one from Charity Sebi6990. Am married daughter of USA citizen. Married daughter, so F3, for file 2019 October. Okay, so 2019 October. Am I qualified? I'm in my 30s. My case has been transferred to NVC without payment since 15th June 2022. So it's been like over a year now. Up to now, we are still waiting for case number. I want to know if I'm qualified. Okay, Charity, so let's take a look. I think we're looking at the graph B. It sounds like your NVC profile portal is still locked. So let's take a look at the visa bulletin, and we're going to be looking at the graph B, dates for filing, which it doesn't say much, but basically graph B is if you want to know when your NVC portal is opening up, this is what you're looking at. You're looking at the graph B. So since you're a married daughter of a US citizen, you are in F3 category. F3, we got married sons and daughters of US citizens. And as of right now, people whose NVC portals open up for them to start documentary qualification process are people with a priority date back in March 2010. and you are in 2019 October. So roughly you have another 9 years if you are in all chargeability area before your NVC portal opens up, where you can start your documentary qualification process. And then from then on, it's about a year, a little less, looks like, no, it's March 2010 and then January 2009. Yeah, it's a little bit over a year from then to, for your immigrant visa to become available. So that's why your NVC profile portal is still closed. That's why you cannot make a payment or anything like this. It's just because you still have some time to wait for the backlog for the availability of the immigrant visa. Okay, so let me post the response and we're gonna move on to the next one from Ria Sidhu, KT2WH. If USCIS given a 6 months for their decision when I applied I-130 in August 2023, actively reviewed after completed 5 months, they give some for their decision after the weeks converted into again month, and now they give a 8 months for their decision. What does it mean? Please confirm. Okay, Ria, so if I understand your comment correctly, you're looking at the processing times at USCIS, and it was showing 6 months, and then after some time, and then now it's showing eight months. Unfortunately, that's how it is with USCIS processing times. They constantly keep updating and keep changing, so it is important to keep checking them, but that's just the way it is. They don't stay the same, and really the reason why they don't stay the same is because it always averages out based on existing cases. That's how we have those processing times in the first place, is because these are the actual cases that are being reviewed, and the time that they were pending for keeps constantly updating into the system, and obviously it keeps getting averaged out. And sometimes you see those, sometimes it gets better, sometimes it gets worse, just like with Visa Bulletin. Sometimes it moves forward, sometimes it doesn't move at all, sometimes it moves backwards. That's just how it is. That's why it's important to, regularly keep checking the processing times, keep checking the Visa Bulletin depending on which stage of the process you are at. But that's just part of the deal, unfortunately. Okay, moving further to the next one from user HD. Sorry, for some reason YouTube decided to no longer show me the names. Instead, now they're showing me the handles. So apologies for that. So user says, hello, thank you so much for answering questions on immigration issues. I found your video on EAD renewal very helpful. I'm glad you did. I have a pending asylum application and am currently trying to renew my EAD. I've been trying to submit my application through my online USCIS account. One of the questions asked was, what is your current immigration status or category? In your video you mentioned we can simply write pending asylum. However, on the website we have to choose from a list of options, and pending asylum is not an option. Out of all the given options, I think there are 2 options that are both applicable for me. 999, alien awaiting decision of asylum, and AS, asylee applicant with work authorization. I think I should pick the second one. Could you please confirm if that's correct? Thank you very much for your help. Once again, really appreciate your advice. Of course, you're very welcome. So yes, you are correct. That's what you should be picking, AS, asylee applicant with work authorization, because you are renewing EAD. Honestly, it's really not going to make any difference even if you select the 999 for everybody who's watching, and if you did select 999 instead of the AS, it really doesn't matter. But in most cases, if it's an initial EAD application, you would select the 999, and if it is the renewal, then you would select the AS whenever it comes to the online application. So really, it's good that you brought this up, because it is in fact different whenever it comes to the online application. And unfortunately, in these videos I can't show a walkthrough of an online application, because for that you actually have to create a real USCIS online account and then start a real application and enter the real information. So unless somebody switches personal information, so I won't be able to do that anyway. But thank you for bringing this up, and yes, absolutely the AS is the way to go for you, because you're renewing it. Okay, let me post the answer here, and we're gonna move on to the next one from Danny Halili 442. Good day, here's my question on your last episode. Volume 165. Good day. Mine is F3. My priority date is October 2000 and documentarily qualified last November 2021. After I submitted documents and pay all fees, I'm from the Philippines. How long should I expect for my visa interview to be scheduled? As you have mentioned, based on the final action dates for family-sponsored preference cases, mine is F3, Philippines, 08 June 2002, which is 2 years past of my priority date. Yes, October 2000. I haven't received any email or letter from the US Embassy or NVC informing my scheduled interview. The only document I received from NVC is the case status update, which I received every 60 days. Informing me that I'm documentarily qualified and awaiting an interview appointment. Okay, so you keep receiving those 60-day notices too. So, here's the thing. If you are receiving those 60-day notices, I've noticed, and please don't take it as a factual information or anything like this. This is really what I've noticed from doing this for I don't know how long I've been doing this now, but just reading through the comments, it seems like people that are getting those 60-day notices are usually dealing with U.S. embassies that are in the busiest U.S. embassies that are out there, that are experiencing these delays in scheduling of an interview, past documentary qualification, and all of that sort of stuff. So it sounds like your case has just been sitting and waiting to be scheduled for an interview. In fact, I think it might have been already scheduled, but you just did not get it because it's longer than 60 days. And I think in your situation, it will be 60 days when you will find out. So not 30 days, like I said in my previous response, but actually 60 days, because it seems like it is the embassies again that are the busiest ones. They do it 60 days in advance instead of 30 days in advance. So Danny, once again, I would definitely recommend reaching out to the U.S. Embassy and talking to them and saying, hey guys, I've been for 2 years now. I've been my immigrant visa has been available for 2 years. And I'm still waiting for an interview. Can you at least tell me when it is? It's fine. I will wait for it. I just don't want to be in the dark. I just want to know that it was already scheduled, and see if they can give you that information. I probably should say don't be upset if they don't, because a lot of times they don't give you that information and they say we can't share that information. But it's worth a shot. It's worth a try. Because it's been a long time, for you it's been a long time. And honestly, I would also recommend doing the expedited request with the NVC. You can call US Embassy, try calling US Embassy, try talking to them. If they give you that information when your interview was scheduled for, good. If they don't, then I would suggest sending an email to NVC and requesting the expedited processing, because it's been a long time. Sounds like that's what it is. That's how long people are waiting, but still, it's not an excuse to to just basically accept it as as something that you have to deal with, because it's not fair. You already been through 2000, 23 years. Here's the thing, people who are watching these videos, stuff like this I take personally. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous because Danny here, he's been waiting for 23 years, all right, doing everything legally, and he's F3, which means that he's a married son of a U.S. citizen. A son of a U.S. citizen. Think about this. Son, a child of a U.S. citizen, waiting 23 years, doing everything legally, being sponsored fully by the petitioner, by the parent, who's a U.S. citizen, paying all of the fees, visa fees, doing all the medical examinations, doing all the background checks, everything. No criminal history, everything legally, 23 years. And then we have, news here that are completely obnoxious, completely, absolutely have no idea. Not the news outlets, not the politicians here, not most people that support the illegal immigration, that, you know, people coming and just jumping over the border and coming in and doing things illegally here, staying here illegally, and supporting that and saying that this is okay. This is not okay, you know, and this is not okay what Danny is going through. And we have people like Danny because ignorant people support stuff that is illegal, that is unrighteous, that is not good, you know. It's unfair. It is unfair. So myself being a legal immigrant and doing everything legally, doing everything the right way, whenever I see stuff like this, I take it personal. And I you know, one of the reasons why I started this channel is because I want to bring this more to a forefront, you know, so that it's not just people who want to do everything the right way and who are, you know, doing their cases, going through their immigration journey. They can get information and they can find answers, but at the same time, people that are not very familiar with the field of immigration, they can see how unfair it is because of ignorant politicians, ignorant Congress that doesn't know what they're doing whenever it comes to the field of immigration. Okay, so apologies for my rant. Moving further to the next question from DJ Osti Joes 3457. Hello sir, thank you for helping people better understand this immigration process. Wife of permanent resident, 203A2A, INA, so F2A, priority date December 2nd, 2019, documentarily qualified January 17, 2023. Any hope of getting interviewed this year, or it will be scheduled next year? Thank you. All right, so let's take a look at the visa bulletin. So your F2A priority date in December 2019. So I will count it as all chargeability area. I'm assuming it's all chargeability area. So F2A right now is on February 2019 and you are December 2019. So you are about, let's see, like 10 months, roughly 10 months away from the availability of the immigrant visa. So I would say probably not, unfortunately, not by the end of this year. I don't think it's enough time because you still have about 10 months before the availability of the immigrant visa. So I would say you are looking more realistically somewhere in the middle of 2024. However, with that being said, keep in mind that we did see some really good movement on the visa bulletin specifically for the F2A in the past couple of months. So maybe if we see the same constant progress in the next visa bulletin editions, it might be even sooner. I still don't think it's going to be by the end of this year because we only have 2 more months left for this year. Well, October, November, December, 3 more months. But it's possible that it might be early 2024 if we see good movement on the visa bulletin. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing, because once a new visa bulletin comes out, I always make a video on it and I compare it to the previous visa bulletin and discuss the movement. So for you right now, this is the number one important thing is, keep checking the visa bulletin and, make sure that you are aware of the updates. Okay, moving further to the next one from Oten Yelis 5171. I have received my email letter. I am IR5 category, interview and medical in November 2023, priority date May 2021, documentarily qualified January 2032. All right, Oteni, thank you very much for sharing this information. I'm sure it's going to be helpful to a lot of people in IR5 category, especially IR5 are parents of US citizens. It will be helpful to kind of get the estimates. Keep in mind though, it's different from US Embassy in this country to US Embassy in that country, because some US embassies, they're just busier and they take a little longer to schedule those interviews. So keep that in mind. But still, it is nice to have a kind of baseline from which to go by and estimate how long you will be waiting. Okay, moving further to the next one from Castrans Finn 1024, thanks so much for being publicly subscribed. I appreciate it. So, Castransfin says, can I submit my request for extension of stay in the US with my B2 visa? Yes, absolutely you can. I tried using the online platform, but I got an error about duration of stay on the second question. Can you please explain? Thanks. So, what kind of error did you get? Did it not allow you? Because I've seen those online applications, they are pretty picky. Like for example, if you're entering date, it has to be an exact date format, right? That is displayed. And I'm pretty sure right now, the last time I checked, it's 2-digit months, 2-digit date, and 4-digit year. So for example, if you enter 2-digit months, 2-digit date, and then 2-digit year, it's gonna give you an error and it will not go to the next page. I've seen stuff like that. So maybe that's the case. But let me know what kind of error it is and what exactly is happening. Is it not going to the next page? Is it not allowing you to save it? And we will, see if we can resolve that situation. But yes, online applications, they are a little bit picky and sometimes they do give you trouble. But yes, absolutely 100% B2. I-539, if you want to extend it, that's what you use. So you're on the correct track. Okay, let's do the very last question comment for today from Lucas Dantas 7513. It's a shame the NVC is advancing the dates for filing so much without advancing the final action dates. Yeah. You pay the fees, go after the documents, and in the end, you will have to submit most of the documents again. Yes. Updated version of the police certificates and financial documents will be required. Yes, Lucas, thank you very much for bringing this up. You were 100% correct. Honestly, I've been wondering the same thing recently myself. It really doesn't make sense. Like we see the progress on the graph B and people becoming documentarily qualified like 2-3 years, before their immigrant visa becomes available. And then once it is available, you have to keep in mind that you're waiting for the interview to be scheduled. So you add another, 6 months, a year on top of that. So people, getting their interviews basically like 3-4 years after they became documentarily qualified. So they make you go through all of this process and then you go to the interview and, you get a runaround because they're like, oh, these tax returns are, outdated. Where are the recent tax returns? Oh, this police certificate is outdated. Where's the updated police certificate? Like, why did you make me go through all of this stuff just so that I have to get all of this stuff again? It's, Lucas, honestly, this goes back to my rant that I already been through in this video. So thanks for bringing me right back to this rant. And the truth is, the politicians that, the whole Immigration Nationality Act, Congress, and because you have to keep in mind that the reason why we have the backlog in the first place on the immigrant visas is because of the decision of the Congress to cap the availability of the immigrant visas. Okay, they don't cap illegal immigration, they don't cap, no, they cap legal immigrants, people who are coming here to their families and doing everything legally and paying the fees and going through background check and waiting for years. Imagine waiting 23 years like Danny above. 23 years to see your parent who is a US citizen. It's people who are not involved in the field of immigration, from the outside, perspective, they don't think it's real. Like I actually had comments. It's very rare that I do get them, but I did have a comment, I think once or twice, whenever I was talking about the visa bulletin, people saying like, no, this is not real. Like people don't wait that long. Like, oh yeah, people do wait that long. I am right now waiting that long to see my brother. It's already been 4 years and it didn't even move, and there's still another 13-14 years for me to wait for my brother. Crazy, but if you think about Danny waiting 23 years to come to his parents here in the US who are US citizens, it's even worse, And if you look at the Mexico, which again, You know, most of the illegal immigration that we see on the news, it happens through Mexico, right? Through the border, Mexican border. But yet, you would think, right, they would try to discourage illegal immigration by making it easier to do things legally. No, they don't, because if you are from Mexico and you are doing everything legally, then you will be waiting. Let me tell you how long you will be waiting. Look, there's 1998 for F3, so it's the same as Danny. So Danny been waiting since 2000. You know, if Danny was from Mexico, he would have been waiting since 1998. 1998, it's still in the 90s, visa bulletin for Mexico. So, you know, it's but that's just the world that we live in. You know, that's part of the deal. That's part of the deal. You know, whenever we start creating these man-made systems, it's just a matter of time for them to become corrupt, for them to become, you know, for them to fall apart. And the reason why really nobody cares about family immigration and everybody cares about illegal immigration and the border and all of that stuff on the news is because they get the attention. And politicians, that's all they want. They want the attention, they want the advancement in their careers. But whenever it comes to real families, real, you know, people dealing with their issues, they don't care about that. So with that, on that very depressing note, apologies for that. But again, you know, it's depressing if you're deeply rooted in this, and unfortunately we are when we are dealing with the immigration. But that's why it is very important to have faith and, you know, believe in God, because really if you don't, in this world, materialistic world, it's really hard. You know, it slowly will consume you. So on this more hopeful and brighter note, I'm going to say God bless you. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any follow-up questions, you're always welcome to, you know, to post them on this channel. I always appreciate that. And I'll see you all in the next video.